Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Kobe Baker, CEO of Alderis Mortgage. I am here with our Chief Sales Officer, Gina Baker, and our Senior Mortgage Advisor, Michael Rodriguez. Today we're going to do the second part of our series on mindset, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk very specifically about the mindset required to get big wins in the mortgage business. Now, last time we spoke a little bit about Michael and his quarter and how he utilized the resource of Gina to unpack some of the things to help him accomplish and close one of the biggest quarters of his career, the biggest quarter of his career, correction. And today what we want to do is talk a little bit with Gina about the mindset and how you prepare people for the mindset of really being able to take a big leap in your business and being able to close more loans. So Gina, why don't you take a couple of minutes to talk to the audience about the things that you think are most important in keeping the focus forward in winning.
Right. So Michael's significant other, who is a lovely gal, has a really great saying, and she constantly says, keep the main thing the main thing. And I think that's a really great saying and analogy to be able to use here, because I think as originators, we tend to get off in the weeds and we tend to start to focus on things that really, at the end of the day, don't matter. In our last segment, Michael made a mention of perhaps you lose one or two of the battles, but you win the war, you win the game. Loans are going to go sideways. Things are going to happen. You're going to lose transactions to other lenders. You're going to lose referral sources to other lenders. You're going to have hiccups along the way. Focusing on those types of loses or fails easily gets you into a mindset where you now become non-productive. You start to tell yourself stories about why you're not able to do this, or why perhaps maybe you're not good enough to do this. You don't have what it takes. It's the environment, it's somebody else, it's a whole host of other things. The reality of it is none of those things are relevant. The only thing that matters is you and your mindset. So you're taking complete and total ownership of everything that is in your world. You are taking responsibility and you are working toward finding a solution and what can you do better. You had a loan go sideways? Good. Let's find a way to do it better next time. You lost a relationship to another lender? Good. Figure out how you don't have that happen again. What can you do better? What parts can you own? And most importantly, constantly focusing on the wins that you're achieving, because sales is all a game of psychology. If you cannot control your own mind, you cannot control the sale. And that's the very most important thing that I try to teach my loan officers is that is where you need to focus your time and attention, is on controlling your mind.
How has that, thank you Gina, how has that affected the way you think about things throughout the course of a standard business week in the loan, in the loan business?
I think one of the key points is just really leading yourself well in an environment, because like to your point, Gina, no matter what happens, the outcome is good because we're going to learn something from it. We're going to get better. But every day I have to prepare myself to know that there's going to be some unknown component to this day, to this week, to this month that we're going to have to work through. But it's my choice to either allow that to just completely sidetrack me or to take it as just simply feedback and move on with that feedback to be better the next day, next week, next month. And I think that's been critical to being able to sustain the success, is just focusing in on those wins. We have a great weekly meeting where we just go through and we call it film study, and we look at everything that's gone on in the pipeline over the week, so you can really be intentional in looking at those wins. And it just continues to build your confidence, because you realize as you do the right activities with the right mindset, you get the right results. And the right results in this business means you can make a lot of money and do it with fun people. And that's really the victory that we've been able to see over the last few months.
Yeah, winning more than losing.
Amen.
I'm a big fan of sports. We all just saw the Stanley Cup. We saw the NBA Finals. At the end of the day, everybody loses. It's just part of the game. So it's understanding the focus on improving those things that could have led to your losses, but also celebrating those wins, really understanding that your win percentage in what we do, at least for the people in our organization, the win percentage is far higher than the loss percentage.
Absolutely.
So really being able to key in on those and understand how to improve the areas that are improvable, but not focusing on those, actually allowing the people around you to fix and focus on those things while you're out getting business. So.
And I think a key point to that I think sometimes gets lost in the shuffle is having an executive management team that's not producing,
Right.
that is able to really sit back and look at the business as a whole, but then Gina, that can get in the weeds with the sales team, operations being able to look at their metrics to understand what can be tweaked, what can be worked on, but ultimately having everything done under the backdrop of, man, we're getting better week in and week out, and it's not some arbitrary measure. We measure everything around here, so the facts are the facts, and you can't argue with that. And that's where mindset, again, kind of becomes the overarching point. In your mind, it'll tell you you're losing more than you're winning, but when you pull the curtain back and you look at those numbers and you see like, wow, we've improved in these areas, you can't do anything but accept that victory, and it just continues to build that positive momentum.
The numbers don't lie, and bottom line doesn't lie.
Amen.
Those two things, you can tell yourself a lot of stories, but bottom line never lies. It's either up, down, or the same, one of the three.
That's it.
So thanks for tuning in. We're going to bring you some more in the series chronicling Michael's progress and how he's doing in his return to Alderus. If you have any desire to speak to somebody at Alderus, you can reach us at 702-255-5783. Dan's information will be on the end of this, dan.mcnamara@alderus.net or kobe@alderus.net. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thanks.